I respect myself. I respect my body. I treat myself with love and care. Whatever that looks like for you, I want you to know that you are worth it. No matter the size or shape or age or state of your body, you are still infinite, and you're here to learn every lesson that is here for you on this earth plane. Hello, and welcome to today's Color Me Beautiful. Let's grow some beautiful positive thoughts in the flower garden of your mind. And today we are talking about bodies. I respect my body. I respect myself. I treat myself with love and care. And I hope that you do treat yourself with love and care and all those good things. Whether you like your body or not, whether you like parts of your body more than others, which is probably the case with just about everyone, we can still find so much beauty in it. And if you do have a hard time loving your body or loving all of your body is a part of yourself. And so there's so many layers and there's so many perspectives. And so I want to really think a little more deeply about this today, maybe give you some ideas about how you could respect yourself and your body more and treat yourself with love and care. And I commend you because taking this time and the space to relax and color and to honor your own needs, that is part of treating yourself with love and care. So good job. Good job. You're doing so excellent. And let's talk more about that. Let's start with an inhale. Let's do two more. Shake it out. Shake out any stress. Just let it all go. Just get loose. Get loose. This is your time for you. Whether it's daytime, nighttime, whenever you take a moment, it is sacred for you, right? We're honoring yourself, even just taking a breath. Sometimes we get in the hustle and bustle and we forget to take breaths, and that tells our body we're in stress, and fight or flight and hormones and all crazy stuff kicks in. And so let's remind ourselves we have plenty of time for everything that's important to us. And today, because we're doing something so special about the body, purple, blue, these are colors of purity. And I want you to focus on the beautiful things about you. Blue is also a more rare color to see in nature. So I'm going to actually today, I'm going to use some blue for this flower, but then also I'll show you before we get too far along here, I'll show you that I'm going to mix mediums. So I'm going to do something like that, and then I'm going to come along and I'm going to use some markers and some pencils. I like getting creative with you, especially during the challenge, because there's just so many different ways to play with creativity. And I really want you during our time together to be able to step away from perfectionism, to step away from having to do things the way that they've always been done or the way that many people say they should be done. There's just lots of right ways to be. So I want you to feel free to be whichever of those creative ways feels like you. Of course, we're not referring to like morals and ethics. I mean, there are some absolutes, like gravity is gravity, whether you believe in it or not. And we won't get into too big of a moral discussion at this moment. But just knowing that there is, even with some of the laws of the universe in play, there's lots of room for you to be creative and for you to exercise your agency and your discovery, and how beautiful it can be to go through that process. We are creative beings. That's where we get all our ideas from the ether, from the universe. There's so many good books on these kinds of topics about how does information come, how does inspiration come, so many fun things. And So I would submit that there's lots of right ways to color, and feel free to use them, and feel free to please continue posting them in the group. I love seeing your work. It's an act of a statement of confidence. Actually, that's one reason I love to see when you post things in the group, because you're declaring my work is good enough to share. But it's just, you're saying, you know what? I'm not going to worry about what other people think. I'm not going to worry about being criticized. I'm not going to worry about doing it wrong. I'm just going to do this awesome version of me. And this creativity, if we were all in kindergarten together, then we would all probably think that we were great artists, right? Isn't that what kindergartners think? If you go into one of those classes and you said, who's a good artist? Every kid raises their hand. Oh, I can draw. Ooh, me, pick me, right? And then what happens along the way? I don't know, but it's time for you to find it again. Find that spot where you're like, yeah, that's me. I can be my own version of creative, and it is just all right. So you respect yourself. You respect your body. You give your body the time that it needs. Maybe this is a good reminder to focus on giving yourself the physical nourishment that you need. Did you know that meal planning can be an act of self-care if you treat it that way? Ooh, have you ever thought about that? When you take time to plan and shop for food that helps you get to your goals, when you take that effort on behalf of yourself, that is an act of self-care. I don't think that grocery shopping gets much attention as an act of self-care, right? There's no profit really in that for people that promote self-care, but it is anytime you plan and prepare food for anyone you care about, whether you have family or people in your space that depend on you to do that role, or even if you just live on your own and you need to take care of you, food is like a little love note. It can be. Not that we use food in place of love, or there's all kinds of crazy stuff that goes down that path. I'm not talking about that path. I'm talking about the act of taking time to care enough about your body and respect the results that you want, the goals that you have, the feelings that you want to have. When you take time to plan ahead in the area of your own nourishment of your body, that's an act of self-care. So is leaving the house on time, right? Because the inverse is more easy to see. If you always leave late, that's kind of an act of self-sabotage, right? We see we miss opportunities, we damage relationships, we burn trust if we develop habits of not being on time. And so a habit of being on time would be something that builds those things in contrast, right? So doing those things like keeping your promises just makes you feel like you're a person of integrity, right? So good. That is an act of self-care. And so I want you to see that there's more than the normal way to respect yourself and respect your body. You don't have to go get a massage. There's lots of different ways to honor you and to treat yourself with love and care, to respect your body. Now, this also respects the level that it's at, as far as, I went with my cute little 70-something-year-old mom on a hike the other day, and even though she didn't go quite as she impressed me. She went pretty fast and pretty far. It was almost three miles each way. She impressed me. She got all the way up to these beautiful hot springs at the top of the mountain. But she honored when her body needed a break. She honored when her body needed a drink of water. And so by honoring herself, she was able to get all the way to her destination and goal. And so sometimes when it feels like it's expensive time-wise to take these breaks for ourselves, or to to pace ourselves. Or maybe some days you need a nap. A nap is self-care. Ooh, that's one of my favorite kinds, and that also is free. So these are just different ways that you can remind yourself and demonstrate to yourself that you honor and respect yourself, and that you treat yourself 5-star. You can treat yourself 5-star. You can treat yourself 2-star. You can exercise that body, not because you should, even though, I mean, that is a reason, that's a lower level reason, but what about because you have a body that moves so easily, and it feels so good to breathe deeply, and it feels so good to feel your blood pumping and your muscles being strong. And when you feel physically strong, then you start to feel more mentally strong, and you feel in control, and you feel on track. And all of those things are pieces of respecting ourselves. Part of respect is watching ourselves do things that we're proud of, right? So whatever that looks like for you, when you see this video, I'd love to hear a comment on how a way that you show your respect to yourself. How do you honor yourself? How do you show respect to your body? Maybe that's working your way to just one serving and letting go of seconds. I know I grew up in a family where I'm very tall. I'm 5'10", and I had a brother, and my dad is really tall too. And so it was very common. Like, mom puts dinner on the table, and we just keep having seconds until the pan is empty, right? Like, we would just eat it all as a family. And so I got really used to seconds and thirds, and sometimes fourths, but not always. But thirds was pretty common growing up for me because I had a fast metabolism. Well, now I'm 50, and it's probably not a good idea for me to have thirds of everything, right? And so I've had to kind of let go of some of the thoughts about the way I used to do things, and that was an act of respect. And so maybe just kind of evaluate, what ways do I show myself respect? What ways do I show my body respect? And what ways could I improve? What opportunities to improve do I have? And you can do this with judgment and self-condemnation, or you could just forget about that part and just be like, you know what, as an observer, what could I study about myself? Is there some outdated stuff that I'm just kind of doing on autopilot? But I would show myself a higher level of respect, and I would feel better if I maybe made a change. So I encourage you, take some self-reflection. And if you don't feel like doing that, that's totally fine too. You can just go with, I respect myself. I respect my body. I treat myself with love and care. Whatever that looks like for you, I want you to know that you are worth it. No matter the size or shape or age or state of your body, you are still infinite, and you're here to learn every lesson that is here for you on this earth plane. And so why don't you talk yourself into, I respect myself. I respect my body. If you really feel like that isn't ringing true for you, maybe you can bridge it with saying, I'm learning to respect myself. I'm learning how to respect my body. I'm starting to treat myself with more love and care. How do those bridges feel for you? Right? We all can improve. We all can do better. And so I want you to remember that, just like this blue flower, that you are precious. Your body is absolutely unique. Your DNA is insane. We don't even, our brains can't even hardly comprehend what DNA is and what it does and how incredibly unique it is. And you are just an absolute miracle. Your body alone, even just your eye, scientific, it's just absolute masterpiece and perfection. And that's just one little part of you. What about your circulatory system? Who wakes up every day and is like, dang, I am rocking. My heart is beating no matter what. I'm it's easy and effortless for me to circulate my blood all day long. I don't even have to be awake, right? We don't usually have gratitude for those kinds of things, but that's all part of what our body does for us that we want to respect. Right? So go back to the basics. If you have any trouble with this at all, go back to just appreciating, I can digest food in my sleep. Woo woo. This is, if you think about it, it's so incredible, these bodies that we have. I do respect all that I'm able to do. I do respect that I can wake up day after day and experience life. And I hope you tune into that gratitude and appreciation and respect for yourself as well. All right, inhale that. Okay. You are beautiful. I'll see you again very soon.